Hello there everybody and welcome back to Costume Quest. Last video we were introduced to the game. We are now playing as Ren. Our twin brother has been taken by some ugly creature thinking that he was a giant talking piece of candy. So if we want to pull up our menu here, you can see that this is our notebook. We're now able to look at this and we can refer to this at any time to look at things like side quest, main quest. We're going to be able to do a couple of collecting along the way. We can look at our collectibles and things like that. So you can see here that our first level is the Auburn Pine suburbs, which is where we live. And we have a couple of main quests here. The biggest immediate thing that we're going to have to do in order to make progress is to trick-or-treat at all 20 houses in the neighborhood. We have 18 left after the 2 that we had trick-or-treated before Reynold was taken away. If we want to look at some of the other things in our menu here, you can see that we have a status screen for all of our characters. Right now we've only just got Ren with us. Battle stamps, these are kind of like buffs that we can put on our characters to help us in battle. We're not going to be able to use any of these just yet. Obviously we need to find them first. Our quest menu, our costume patterns. So this will show us all of the different costumes that we can find in the game, and it will give you a really brief little introduction of all of the costumes. But it's quite helpful actually because it gives you a lot of information if you're not sure and you want to just try all the different costumes out. I usually try each costume as soon as I get it. I'll change into it right away and try it out in battle, and then if I don't like it, I'll, switch to something else. And then we also have the Creepy Treats menu. Now these are basically like cards. This game has a card collection system, and we need to get all of those for an achievement. Some of them we will get throughout battles, and some of them we will be able to trade with other kids in all of the various levels and things like that. So this is a pretty big neighborhood, and there's quite a bit to do, but for the first little bit it's fairly linear. We're not able to go left and right back over to the gate where Reynold was taken because an old man has crashed his car and is blocking the entrance. I need to get through. Monsters took my brother through that black gate. Sorry kids, roads closed due to vehicular... I cannot read that. Let's just say a vehicular accident. Big words for my tiny brain. And then over next to that alley are, of course, the 2 houses that we trick-or-treated in. And then this is our house. And we're not able to go back there. Obviously, Ren does not want to go back home without her brother, because she'll be in trouble. You can smack a couple of things around the neighborhood if you want to, just for a little extra currency with the candy there. And then what I'd recommend, especially if you're wearing the robot costume, is just to hold down the B button if you're using a controller like I am at all times, just to move faster. And then we're going to move to the right-hand side of the street here and take a look at what's going on with all these mummies. You are standing between me and my candy. You are, and stupid, whatever. He's new. That makes no sense. What are you talking about? Can I squeeze past you here? Don't touch me. I ain't your mummy. Ha 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 ha. Okay, I'll allow that one, but no more puns. What? This kid's no fun. Thank you, Travis, for, ow, clarifying for me your position on nerds. Now could you, ow, please unhand me? You don't have my permission to trick or treat over here, Everett. All new kids have to wait their turn. Hey, what's going on? It's time you new kids learn that in this neighborhood tonight is all about me getting candy. Really? Because I think tonight is all about you getting served. You know, I just realized I've never given a wedgie to a robot before. Get over here. Run, brave Samaritan. He is as fast as he is impervious to reason. Alright, so once we've been threatened by Travis the bully, what you're going to want to do is hit him with your candy pail a couple of times until you've kind of wound him up. And once you've done that, he'll chase after you. And you can clear out the street, basically, by challenging him. I am not programmed for failure. Oh man, I hate nerds. Run! I'm gonna smash you like a weak old pumpkin. Run! Run! Alright, so here we go. We just have to hold down the run button and go around the street and outrun him, basically. This is fairly easy to do, especially if you've caught on right away and you get a head start. He is on a skateboard, but we're slightly faster. And luckily, because there's the ramp there, we're able to get over it and escape him fairly easily. Boom. Good try, kid. Weak. Travis, what's going on here? Is it time for me to call your parents? No! Shut your lie hole, Travis, and leave these kids alone or you'll be spending Halloween behind bars. Are you really going to arrest him? Nah, but scaring kids is what Halloween's all about, right? I suppose so. Road's clear. Time to go rip that big black monster gate off its hinges. Oh my god, that was so awesome. How did you do that? Did you cast a fatigue spell on him or an invisible glacial wind? I don't know what that guy was thinking. It's like he has no concept of how fast robots are. Or how well knights can take a punch. Yeah, that's a pretty sweet costume you got. Thanks, yours too. Want to switch? Not sure. Let me try it on. So now we're going to get the tutorial for switching costumes. So all you have to do is press right trigger if you're playing on an Xbox controller. And then you can switch the costume that you want to change into. And then press A. Our costumes are both incredibly superior. We should stick together. I'm on a quest to rescue my brother from monsters. I'm sure you've noticed the monsters. Shh. You had me at quest. Alright, so we get our first companion, Everett, and he's going to be sticking with us for quite a while. So let's just get started. Now we pretty much have a pretty decent range of the entire neighborhood. So we can go around and we can talk to some kids, do some trick-or-treating. There's a lot of things that we can do. And now we're just getting a bit of backstory here. It looks like Ren and Reynold have only lived in this neighborhood for about a week, so they're very new. You're the new kid, plus you're a clone. I'm the original, and I don't have a clone. I have an imitator. I'm a ghost every year, same amount of candy, less effort. Oh, and by the way, yes, the knight's special ability, if you're wearing the knight costume, is you get a shield. This is where that monster took my lesser half. Okay, you stay here and I'll keep watch. I'll go get your parents. No way! Basically, she doesn't want to get in trouble. They probably wouldn't even believe us. I guess this is one door I have to go through alone. You coming? Totally. So you can try to get through the door if you want, but it's pretty fruitless. Beat it, Grubbins, you knew this gate won't open until every house has been liberated of candy. You monsters are never gonna get away with this. Who is this? This is Gus from Section 5. Quit messing around and call your wife. She's worried sick about you. Ha, to think that Grubbins have wives. So you can really trick-or-treat around the neighborhood in any order that you want to. Let's talk to this kid behind the mailbox. You found me. I'm playing hide-and-go-seek with my friends. Wanna play? If you find 6 of us, you'll get a prize. So that starts a bit of a side quest. He wasn't really in a very good hiding spot. Some of the kids are hidden better than others. And we will be finding them as we go along here. So I think I will start with the house on the northern side of the street here, because I do want to go on that ramp I saw on the house below us. And every time you knock on a door, you have the chance of running into a grubbin. So you're either going to get candy from an adult, or you're going to have to fight. So now it's a bit more of a fair fight, because it's 2 versus 2. So we can also try out the knight costume at this time. Both the robot and the knight have pretty good attack power. The knight also has a lot more defense. As you can see, Ren has more health when she wears it. And the knight's attack system is a little bit more simplified. It basically just gives you a button to press and you have to press it right away. Whereas with the robot, you have a bar that you have to line up with the timing as the bar goes by. And the timing on this is fairly generous, I would say. Like, if you don't hit the button within the first, I would say, like, a second and a half, you still usually will be able to hit a successful attack. Now we have the special ability for the knight here, the guardian shields, and basically all this does is it just gives whichever character you choose more defense. So we'll just test it out, just to show you an example of what it looks like. So now basically if anybody goes after Everett, the attacks won't do as much damage. So we got a creepy treat card. What do you say we cruise by the park, pick up some battle stamps from Sadie? Aha, so you'll also know that a house has been trick-or-treated at when all the lights go out. So even if you're kind of just exploring around this neighborhood, going in zigzags, not really paying attention, it's very, very hard to lose track of which houses you've been to because there's a huge obvious difference between houses like this that I haven't trick-or-treated in and houses that I have when all the lights go dark. So this one here, we got lucky. It's a human who's going to give us some candies. So obviously we don't have to take the time to fight, which is nice. There's also a treasure chest in this yard with some additional candy. At the moment, we cannot get behind this house. You can see that there's a guy there guarding the ramp, getting out of the yard. But then there's also another guy guarding the ramp, trying to get into the yard. This ramp is on a need-to-know basis, as in you need to know the password. So we're gonna have to do another little side quest for that later on. This kid here is hiding behind this car. Again, not very cleverly hidden. And before I move on to that street, I'm going to go to the other end of this street here. Trick or treat at these couple of houses and then use the ramp that I saw, which I think is one house back. So because this game has a lot of battles, not so much, it doesn't overdo it. It has a really good system of more or less scripted battles in terms of you know that they may or may not be coming. They don't really have random encounters like you're going to be walking around and you're going to be forced to fight. But regardless, I may still decide to cut out some battles just because you guys get the idea. It's not a difficult battle system to understand. And it is pretty slow going. Like, there is really no way for me to speed this up. And battling is necessary because you do want to level up to keep up with the levels of all the monsters you're going to be fighting. You don't want to fall behind, obviously. So we've had a good look at what the robot can do. We've had a good look at what the knight can do. So I'm probably going to cut out a couple of battles here and again just to make the videos a little bit shorter. But I will, of course, be showing off boss battles, any new enemy types, and new costumes. So we got a couple more creepy treat cards. There was also a new grubbin type in that battle, but it wasn't really worth talking about. If I see it again, I'll mention it at that point. It was basically a grubbin that tosses grenades. So this was the house with the ramp, so let's trick-or-treat at this house. She likes our adorable costumes. Thank you so much. Now this ramp, I believe, just takes us back into the alley that we were first in, it looks like. But the only reason you would want to use that ramp is for the achievement for using all of the ramps. So this really gets you nowhere, it just gets you back to this area, and we've already opened up all of the chests, but you do want to make sure to keep a mental note of every single ramp that you've taken if you are like me and you enjoy getting all the achievements and things like that. So we've kind of taken care of this little corner of the neighborhood. Now we can go back up the street and we can start on this upper row of houses and kind of make our way down. Keeping in mind we're going to have to come back here for this ramp at the end of the street. And I usually stick with the robot costume simply for the fact that I could move around really quickly. I really enjoy this fast movement because regular movement speed is pretty fair. I mean, you still move pretty quickly, but the fast movement really helps me. I feel like it makes a pretty significant difference, personally, so you'll usually see me stick with the robot costume for that reason alone. I guess this is a good chance for me to talk about some of the enemy types too. I didn't really specify or talk much about that in the last couple of videos. So these Grubbin Warlocks, they're usually pretty weak, but if they appear with other enemies, I try to take them out first, because usually what they'll do is they will buff their friends, so they will give them an attack boost. And when they do attack, like you just saw there, it's annoying because they'll usually light you on fire, even if you've timed the defend perfectly. So they're usually more of a nuisance than anything else. They don't really do a lot of damage compared to some of the other Grubbins, but they can be really painstaking, I guess is a good word for it. Just because they really just get in the way. You can see that he just did a buff. The red fist means that now he has more attack power. Your health automatically restores at the end of each battle, I should mention as well. You can see we were getting fairly low on health. But every single time you enter into a new battle, if you go back to the world map and then enter into a new battle, your health will be automatically restored. And the only way to get health in battle is to have a costume that is capable of healing. So keep that in mind. We don't have items that allow us to heal. They introduced that in the second costume quest, but in this one we're stuck with our costumes basically. We got to the park now, and this is probably a really good place to stop. You can see that we have a phone booth that we can use to save. Ren will usually call the police and ask them to help her with her brother. They think she's just pranking them, and they'll usually just hang up on her. So you'll get that conversation every time, but make sure you stop at these when you see them, because it is a way to save your game. So I'm going to stop here in the park. Right now we've trick-or-treated at about 8 of the 20 houses, so we still have quite a ways to go. We've found 2 of the 6 kids, and there's a couple of things that we can definitely take care of as we move on. So thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.